Hello everybody, this is TipTop MTG here today with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down some changes to the release of Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths. So, as you know, there's a lot of craziness happening in the world, and Wizard Tech has actually been doing a pretty good job of communicating what all is changing and making the appropriate changes. So, they released this article yesterday, and I didn't see it until today, so why don't we break this down? Okay, let's just jump right into this. So I'm going to read through it, and then I'm going to kind of break down, add some information maybe they're not saying, talk about my opinions, all that kind of stuff. So let's do this. In a world that's anything but normal, we hope to maintain some normalcy around our games, our events, our streaming shows, and the community that is so important to so many of us right now. During this time, we are striving to keep players and local game stores going, keep them connected, and yes, bring some happiness into their lives. With that in mind, we're discussing two items today with the caveat that this is an evolving situation and many details are not ready yet. We will share those as soon as possible. So they want to talk about the changes to the release schedule for Ikoria and relief and initiatives for local game stores. So yes, they are changing the release date of Ikoria kind of in some places, and you'll just have to see. Changes to the Ikoria Lair of Behemoths release schedule. As parts of the world recover from COVID-19, while others are still dealing with rising numbers of cases, we've come to accept the fact that we cannot celebrate the release of the set in the uniform way to which we've been accustomed. For the safety of those working in our distribution and shipping centers, as well as acknowledgement that some places simply cannot open their doors, we will be rolling out the release of Ikoria as such. So April 2nd will be Ikoria's debut, the trailer launch, and the start of previews. And they do this stream called Weekly MTG every Thursday. I did watch the very end of that where they did a Q&A session. And they mentioned that they would would break down the mechanics on April 2nd. So expect a bunch of videos next Thursday, that is. I'll be breaking down all of the previews in one video. I will be reacting to the trailer in another video, and I will be doing a mechanics breakdown in the other video. If you guys didn't see that, then that weekend will be Commander weekend. So Friday through Sunday, they're going to reveal basically all the Commander stuff. Then starting Monday, they're going to do a ton of previews, and then actually 8 days, so that Friday will be the last day of previews. So next Friday will be the very last day of previews. Not next Friday. Sorry. Okay. Basically, a week from now, previews start. The week after that, previews stop. And they're done, because they've revealed everything. Then the week after that, so that next Thursday, so 2 weeks from, not next week, not the week after that, but the week after that, it'll be released on Magic the Gathering Arena and Magic Online. Then, the day after that, it'll be the pre-release and the release will happen at the same time in Japan, Korea, China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. Then, May 15th, almost a month later, the pre-release and release will happen in North America, Europe, Latin America, Australia, and /New Zealand. So, expect a delay. What's good about this is the fact that you may actually be able to celebrate Ikoria pre-release with your local game store if they survive this giant craziness. If you're in one of those countries I just listed, then nothing really is changing in terms of the release cycle for you guys. So one of the things I want to touch on that they talked about a lot was how, if they were going to delay its release on Magic the Gathering Arena and Magic Online, and they said originally they thought about it to allow stores to not be penalized by this, especially because they're already going through so much, but then they also said they don't want to penalize the fans and the people who are stuck at home, and I think that is very important because, Magic going out of business, both of the players' happiness and the local game store survival are both very important to Magic the Gathering, and I think what they're doing is pretty good, and so we're going to talk a little more. Here, they have some more information. So they say, for this release, we'll be combining our pre-release and release weekend. Stores can sell any products on those dates and can still let players play pre-release at home. So they still will not be able to do pre-release at the store. And they say for areas outside of Asia, it is apparent that many, if not most, places will not be open for business, and our ability to ship to those locations is affected equally. While we are doing everything we can to minimize the disruptions and make it possible to enjoy Magic, we're putting the safety of everyone who works to get Magic from Wizards into your hands first, including distributors, retailers, and more. I completely agree with this. We will continue to monitor these dates and make and make updates as necessary. We will also recognize the burden this will place on local game stores. While we do encourage players to pre-order from their local game store wherever and whenever they can, we also recognize that timings and world events may not make that logistically possible, so we're making a few additional moves that will help local game stores, which is very important. Okay, since the onset of the pandemic, we've been exploring multiple ways to help local game stores, and they did. I think I've talked about those in previous videos. Today we're discussing 2 new things we hope will help. First, we have launched a reprint of mystery boosters, and we'll be allowing these we will be allocating these boosters to WPN member stores at no charge. So if you're buying a booster box for $110, they are making $110. That's pretty cool. Again, we'll have more details next week, but we're sure that when you purchase, when you purchase one of these reprinted mystery boosters, from your local game store later on, every single dollar you spend will be going straight to them. That is very huge. Second, from now until at least June 1st, we are allowing local game stores to take admission fees up to $10 for tournaments they run on MTG Arena. So they can say, hey, we're doing this tournament on MTG Arena. Ooh, it's $10, and they're allowing them to do that. Make sure you're connected with them to know about that. And then there will be more ways to support your local game store coming next week. Please stay tuned as we share more details on these and other initiatives to come. Just a note, we know that it's coming to MTG Arena on the 16th, which means a week before that there'll be the so April 9th will be the state of the game, so that is not at the same time as this, so I don't expect this to be anything huge about MTG Arena. It could be, but I expect them to talk about local game store connection with MTG Arena in the next state of the game, although they could kind of just separate it, but I find that highly not believable, highly unbelievable. Then they say, one community, we will continue to share our plans with you even when we cannot share all the details. The situation continues to evolve and we appreciate you bearing with us. We will make sure that we will make it through this the same way that the Magic community has tackled so many things together. In the meantime, stay safe, stay connected, and stay tuned. So, overall, I think there's nothing bad about this post. I think delaying it makes a lot of sense. You don't want players who are in one region, like in maybe North America, where it's not being affected, to then get a bunch of these cards and then start selling them at extremely high prices. There are a ton of problems that could start. Now, technically, all these cards will be legal and standard, but since there is no standard play until May 10th, I believe it is, there'll be 5 days there. You might see a lot of foreign language cards, because those will technically be legal and standard. Overall, I think this is pretty good. They're doing the free mystery booster reprint, which again is just good for stores. Overall, this just seems really good, and I have nothing to complain about. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.